said, David,
Yes.
David, thank you for coming again, man. This is the second time.
Yes.
And I see you haven't let your dreadlocks go anywhere. You're going to keep that forever?
I'm gonna keep this until I'm 60.
60.
That's 20 more years.
20 more years, you'll be 60.
Yeah, 20 more years.
Look at you, man.
I mean, it's very convenient for me.
Okay.
Yeah. I save a lot of money. I don't have to go to the barber.
Right.
Yeah.
But doesn't it start to have a smell or something, man? It looks. People always wonder about that.
Yeah.
Does it?
It doesn't smell as strong.
It's strong, but it smells before.
It has a little bit of smell, but it's not like disgusting, I would say.
You sure?
And I'm pretty sure.
I don't want to try it. But
Yeah. But the people who have tried it, smelled it, it's not so bad.
Really?
Yeah. And
But what do you do to stop it from smelling? What do you put in it? Because
yeah.
you don't unlace it, right? It stays like that.
It stays like this, and it's been like this for more than 20 years.
Okay.
Yeah. And so when I wash my hair, I use a lot of shampoo. I work from the base and I work down.
You have to just rub it. You just rub it, right?
I rub it.
Okay.
Yeah. So for like a normal bottle, I will use maybe a quarter of the bottle, of the shampoo bottle, and then I really.
So you
like
get 4
grain it
uses
in.
of your bottle every time you do your hair. You have to have a
Yeah.
lot of shampoo.
I have a lot of shampoo, so all the money I save on not going to the barber, I spend on the shampoo instead.
You spend twice as much on shampoo.
Yeah. So all in all, over the course of 20 years, maybe I haven't saved much money, but at least, yeah, it looks nice to me.
Everyone, don't you get tired? You don't get tired of people thinking you're an entertainer because that's what they think.
Yeah, everyone.
You're the
thinks
only
so.
one. You're the only. Who would think that you're actually a brainy guy who's doing scientific stuff
Yeah.
with dreadlocks?
Not many people believe that. Yeah.
And you're not really religious either, are you?
No, I'm not religious either.
So they think that first of all too, don't
Yeah.
they?
Yes.
They think you're a Rastafari.
Rastafari. Yeah,
Right.
they do.
And you don't say, no, Mom, I'm not. You got any ganja?
Yeah.
In this country, you don't want to do that.
No. Yeah.
Really?
And people, like a lot of people that come up to me, do you listen to Bob Marley? What kind of reggae do you like? And I'm not into that at all.
So what
And
kind of
they're
music
all
do you like?
surprised. So it's more soul, R&B,
Okay.
hip hop,
Okay.
and then modern classic music. Yeah. So it's kind of like a mix I have. It depends on the mood that I'm in.
Right.
If I wanted some upbeat tempo, it's more hip hop.
Right.
And if I want to relax and focus maybe on the work I'm doing, it's more modern classical music
Right.
that I listen to. Yeah.
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 So which with the classical music comes from your mother's side or your father's side in your mind? Who listened to more of the classical music, or was it just something you picked up?
Yeah, they don't listen to classical music.
Okay, so it's something
Yeah.
you picked up.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is.
That's
So,
interesting.
yeah.
How are Mom and Dad doing?
They're good. They're good.
They're good.
Yes.
When was the last
Yeah.
time you spoke to your mother?
And that was maybe 4 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a bit.
What about your
long
dad?
time. My dad, maybe a month ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who do you speak to? Well, you can't say right now because they're going to watch this.
Yeah.
You wanna see who's watching. So tell me, what's going on in your life? What's
Yeah.
going on in your life?
So since last we met, so we met in December last year,
Yes, we did.
and then on Christmas Eve,
It's been it's been a year.
it's been a year.
1 year, wow.
Yeah, time flies.
It does.
Yes.
I'm 200 podcasts into it, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're over
Congratulations.
200. You're over 200. You're like 206 or something.
Oh, really?
Yes, because
Okay.
I'm backlogged, man.
Yeah.
I'm still editing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's really impressive what you're doing.
Mm.
Over 200 podcasts. So I joined 111, so 111.
That's what you were.
Yes.
111, yes.
Yeah. It's nice to be back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I'm happy about it. So what's the good news? What's
So
the good news? What's
news,
happening?
yes. So after more than 11 years together with my girlfriend, we actually got married.
You got married?
Yes.
You're a married man?
Yes.
I thought there was a different look in your eye. How long have you been married? When did you get married?
So Christmas Eve, last year.
Last year.
Last year, right after we had the podcast. Yeah.
Wait, what made you decide? Were you thinking? You had to be thinking to do that prior to that podcast.
So yeah, that's right.
That it didn't.
So
It just happened to be another thing you were doing in your schedule.
It was part of the
Right.
schedule. Yeah.
Right.
But I didn't want to announce it before the actual marriage happened. So we're legally married now. We
Okay.
haven't had a ceremony.
Right.
Yeah.
How
Ceremony,
many kids you
but-
guys have now?
Work in progress. Yeah. So that's coming. That's
Okay.
coming. Yeah. So I proposed to my wife Miki last year in July, on July 11th. We went to. And that was prior to where we met.
So you already knew that you were going to get married.
Yes.
You just didn't want to say when.
Yeah.
You might have said
exactly.
something to me, but I don't think. Yeah.
I could have said something.
You
yeah.
probably did afterwards.
But still,
not,
yeah. What do you say when you propose to someone? You have 1 year until you have to get married.
oh, is that right?
That's how I was brought up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I still.
I
had
waited 3 years before.
You waited 3
Yes,
years.
we were engaged for 3 years.
Oh, okay.
I dated
it?
her for 5 years. Then I
Yeah.
got engaged, so we didn't get married until 8 years 4 months after I met her.
Okay.
We dated for 5 years, and
Yeah.
then 3 years, I was engaged with her.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Then she had to wait a long time before.
Well, I don't know if she was waiting or if I was waiting, but we didn't get married.
Yeah.
We didn't get married until 3 years later.
Okay.
So you had to
Yes.
get married a year into it. Your wife
Yeah,
is
that's-
Japanese?
My wife is Japanese.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's from the Kansai region.
Okay.
So she is a very exciting person,
Mm.
I would say. Yes. So the Tokyo people are more strict, and the Kansai Osaka people are more lively.
And the food
And
tastes better
exciting.
too.
Yes. it
Oh,
does.
the food is
It's
good.
really
Kansai
good.
food, man. Does she speak English?
Yes, she does.
What other languages?
It's English and Japanese.
Okay.
Yeah, those two.
Is she working?
Yeah, she's
Okay.
working.
Alright.
She's working in a business hotel.
Okay.
So there's about 100 companies then renting a room in the building where she
Mhm.
works, and she's a
Mhm.
receptionist.
Mm.
Yeah, it's one of the kind of interesting buildings on Odaiba. It's
Yeah.
called SOHO.
SOHO, yes.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
maybe
Yes,
you
I know. Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. Yes. It has very the architecture is really nice when you
Mhm.
walk into the atrium.
Now, where's it?
atrium,
Where's it
the middle
located?
area.
In Odaiba. Where?
So
By
it's
where?
it's like southwest. So Oedo Onsen.
Oedo Onsen. Okay.
Yeah. So now they removed the Oedo Onsen, but right next to Oedo Onsen,
Okay.
or the police station,
Okay.
very famous police station that they have on Odaiba, where they bring the celebrities if they're in trouble, or any like drug-related case.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So when you see people like famous people getting caught and being on television,
Like Paul McCartney when he came.
yeah, you like that? Yes, it's that police station that they go to.
That tickled me to no end.
Yeah.
Because I was here when that happened. He was supposed to be giving a concert, and he came with his wife Linda.
Yeah.
And in the diapers, the baby, because I think they had a baby. They had a baby with them. They found his personal stash of marijuana.
Yeah. Oh.
So, oh, you don't remember this?
No.
You don't know. You maybe, but I think it was it had to be in the 80s or maybe the mid 90s.
Okay.
So he comes over, and then they have him on TV, and
Yeah.
his attitude. You saw him just sitting there.
Mm.
They had a picture of him for this, and it was big news in Japan. He was kind of like, "I'll get out of this." You know, once they call the queen and find out what
Yeah.
kind of pull I have.
Yeah.
Well, let's fast forward a couple of days later. He started looking like his hair was going out. You could put numbers underneath him. He was like,
Yeah. Okay.
he thought he was going to be there for a while.
Oh. Yeah.
I think they kept him for a week or so, or
Oh.
week, almost 2 weeks. Yes,
Wow.
before they let him go, and he's
Yeah.
never supposed to be able to come back,
Yeah.
which he did actually. They have
Oh.
a special rule or something for artists
Ah,
or anybody with a lot of money.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
special rule.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of like, you know, this is what you
Is
get
it?
this time.
Yeah.
You know, just don't let it happen again. For where people can find out about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. I mean, Japan is really strict when it comes to that.
They are.
Extremely strict. Yeah.
People don't realize how strict they are. Even if you hit somebody here,
Mm.
if you hit someone and they don't hit you back,
Yeah.
you're in big trouble.
Oh.
If they retaliate,
Yeah.
sometimes Japan says, okay, it's even wash.
Ah. That's good.
You know, but you hit someone this bad, you don't want to do that. They'll keep you in jail. And you will be in jail. It won't be just a detention room.
Yeah.
And you'll be getting the food people get. There's no joke. People always think the Japanese are so calm and docile. They think they won't do anything. I think of the Japanese like I think of a hornet, a bee, a nest. You look at the nest, you see the cone, and it looks so serene. It looks like it just wouldn't do anything. You take a stick and put it up there and go like that and see what happens.
Oh yeah,
that's how the Japanese are. But they have to turn mad. And you've seen them, the riot police, with their gear. Have you ever seen a fat riot policeman or any of the policemen here fat, out of shape?
No, I haven't seen that.
These guys are no joke. They're no joke.
No joke.
The fire department, their military, they call the Jietai.
Yeah.
They're ready for battle. They're no joke.
Yeah, no joke.
So you got married. You've been married for a year now.
Yeah.
How do you see your life has changed? Because weren't you guys living together before you got married?
Yeah, we were living together for more than 5 years, maybe 6. So we dated for 11 years. So there's not that much difference, because in 11 years you get to know each other pretty well. But
did you ever think that you wouldn't marry her?
For the first 11 years, I did not think I would marry her. So
what was she thinking? What do you think she was thinking?
Oh, she wanted to get married after 1 year. So she was waiting for me in this case for
But she
10
stayed
years.
with you.
Yeah, she did.
And your conscience got the best of you. And
Exactly. Who would stay with me for 10 years?
Who told you that? Who said that to you? Did someone say that to you?
About
her staying with you for 10 years? Or staying with you for a long period of time?
So I would say the people around me have been talking about it. Mostly because at least half of my friends have gotten married. And they're wondering, why aren't you tying the knot? You've been together for so long, so what's the difference? And after a while, I realized...
But you actually were married, because by Japanese law, you were married. It's called common marriage.
Ah, the common marriage.
If you guys have the same mailing address and everything, and you're there, that's common marriage. She could say she's fine. If you left, she could, come after you easily.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I have some friends here that are doing that right now and think they're not married. My son stayed with us, I think they lived together for 3 years. And I'm not a big fan of living together. I'm just old school in that way. I figure if you're going to do it, do it. Yeah. There's no free lunch. I told my son, I said, look, I know what you're thinking, but that's not what she's thinking. And no matter what you do, you're always going to compare her to whoever you meet next. No matter what you do. And that's always going to eat at you. Yeah. That person that you just thought it was lunch.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's good. How did she change after you got married? Did you see any changes?
She got very happy from the time that I proposed to her until we got married. She was very excited. And she's very happy, but like the normal part of life hasn't changed that much. But I do, since we haven't had the ceremony yet, I think that we will be able to plan a small ceremony. And my wife wants to have it in Sweden, so where I'm born, because she wants to experience how it is to have the event outside of Japan.
Has she been to Sweden with you?
Yeah, about 10 years ago.
Okay.
It's a very long time ago that she went to Sweden. Yeah. Yes.
And she enjoyed that.
Yeah, she did.
Sure.
Yes. So I tried to show her the whole country.
Okay.
So since I grew up in a small town with only 15,000 people, I wanted to show her like this is also Sweden.
Right.
So we spent 2 weeks. We went around from small city to a somewhat bigger city, like maybe 50,000 people, up to 80,000 people. And she was kind of like, yeah, I like the trees, it's nice. The flat landscape is very nice. It's kind of warm because we went in August, September.
Right.
And then we ended up in the capital the last 2 days. And that's when she just, wow, Sweden is really great.
She enjoyed it?
She wanted the city.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she appreciates the nature and being very close to Mother Nature.
Right.
But she grew up in Osaka,
Okay.
so she's a city girl. So that's why she wants to go to the
Should I
capital.
see some action, some movement, some
Exactly.
buildings, something
Buildings.
modern?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Fashion as
How
well.
do you feel? Do you like, which do you prefer, the city or do you prefer being out in the nature?
I think the city. I like to be in the city, and then weekends is nature.
Right.
Yeah. I think the other way around is to I would say I feel comfortable when there's concrete around me.
In a convenience store and stuff you can get right away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One click and you got it.
It's
in
right
your
there.
mail. Yes, exactly.
I love that too, to be honest. Well, I grew up at a time when a lot of people still lived out in the country. It wasn't built up as much as it is now. I always like the convenience of a city. I like the gadgets. I like the view. I like what man makes.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
And it hasn't changed any.
I think that's why I've fallen in love with Tokyo, because this place,
It's the future.
it is.
Everything's here. I used to go to Akihabara regularly
Yeah.
just to look at the same thing over and over and over again because they have so much of it
Yes.
next to each other. And you think,
Yeah.
and I wanted just one?
Oh.
It's unreal. And the people that, they call them otaku.
Otaku.
The people that really focus on one thing and they blow my mind.
Yeah.
It's nice to have one or two friends that are otaku because in the field that you like.
Yeah.
Because they'll tell you like it's nothing. They'll tell you every little thing about it.
Yes.
And I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. That's good. So tell me this. Your experience here in Japan, your job, what is your job again? What are you doing now?
So
Has it changed or did it change? or
It
is
hasn't
the same?
changed, no.
Okay.
So working in finance, working finance and IT.
You're the guy in between.
In between, exactly.
Right. So is it still working out?
Yes.
Your
it is.
partners are good with you?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
good. So I run the operations here in Japan.
Right.
Yes, I have a team of 4 other people that help me with running the consultancy business here.
Right.
Yeah, and we're looking to be expanding from next year. Yeah.
Here in Japan or expanding in Asia?
From here in Japan.
Okay.
In Japan. Yeah.
Oh, so what do you think? You're going to get an office in Osaka?
So first we want to expand the number of clients that we have
I see, right
Yeah.
here in Tokyo.
here in
Okay.
Tokyo. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
So-
shouldn't be hard.
No, it's
They're
I have
here.
really good people that I'm working with,
Mhm.
and we have a common direction to do the expansion as well. We are looking for really good individuals as well. We have found a lot of people so
You mean to
far
work with?
to work with. Yeah, yeah.
So right now, are all your people that you have, the 4 people you have working with you, they're all Japanese?
No, they're all foreigners.
They're
So-
all foreigners?
Yeah, all foreigners. So the 4 people I just mentioned, they are the people who are part of the operations of the company. And then all in all, we're 18 people here in Tokyo.
How does
we
that
get-
work?
So we got I think 17 consultants that are working with the client, and we got 1 person who's helping out, like with quantitative research in finance. And then I make sure that all the projects are working well and smooth, and then I have the 4 other people helping me in making sure that everything is handled in Japan. Yes.
So how's it, you're the head guy here.
Yeah.
You're the head
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
How's it feel? I mean, a man of color,
Yeah.
you're here. Do you ever have any issues as a result of that?
I
Because
would-
first of all, they wouldn't think that you're the head guy, especially with the dreadlocks and stuff.
Yeah.
No one's going to believe
So-
you're the top guy.
No, that people don't believe that.
So how
But-
do you get them to come around believing it?
So one thing is the power of the business card, which is one thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
But your
so
but your company is not well known.
it's not well known, like for all the banks and financial institutions here in Japan, but at least the network that I have built up by referral, people get to know me, and then I'm referred to as the person with dreads, so
Right.
people don't forget who I am.
That's right.
Yeah, and they attach that with the company name
And bingo.
as well.
So the banks are good with you here?
Yeah.
You've had good results with the banks and everything?
Yes, with some bank clients. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
So how do but how do you get people? I mean, your business card is one thing. What else
Yeah.
do you do? Because that helps.
It
At least it gets you in the door.
Yeah.
They'll
it
talk
does.
with you. Then
Yeah.
what?
Yes.
Do you take your dreads? Do you always throw them in front?
I keep them in the back.
Or do you wear that big thing on the top? Do you ever do that?
Yeah.
The big knit cap?
My shower cap.
Right.
Yeah. No, so at least my first impression is front to meet them in the front,
Right.
and then when I turn around, they see
it.
the background, and then some of them get a little bit excited, and that kind of breaks the ice, which is very, very convenient, because you don't have to say much. You just show this is me, this is my posture, but actually what I can deliver and me and my company can deliver is really, really good work for you. So it's kind of like that. We are based on delivering good solutions to our customers, yes, and that's the kind of word that goes around. And then just me looking like this, it puts a twist on it, and it's kind of part of the branding. Yeah.
It's become part of the branding now.
Yeah, it's become part of the branding. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So you enjoy going in there because you already know what the skit's going to be like. They don't.
They don't. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
That's really neat. So you found it to your advantage. You found a really big. So no one else comes in like you do.
No one. Yeah.
And then you also are able to deliver on what you are promising.
Yeah. Exactly.
Have you had anyone that you felt? Have you ever had a time when you felt because of your dreads, it's been a problem?
I think in Japan I haven't had that.
At all?
No, not at all. So I've had that in Sweden.
I think you'd have that just getting in the airlines, any other country.
Yeah. Yes. And America as well. When
Right.
I traveled there.
So what kind of problems do you? Well, that's not here. So
Yeah.
here. So are you encouraging people with dreads to come to Japan?
Yeah. Apparently I am. Yeah.
But they have
Yes.
to have a product because
Yeah.
Japan's no joke.
Yeah. You have to be able to deliver. Yeah.
I've always said there's two types of foreigners here in Japan: those that are thriving
Yeah.
and those that are surviving.
Ah.
And this is the wrong country to come to if you're surviving. You have to be thriving, because if you're not, it looks pretty outside, but it's so cruel, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
Nobody's standing on the corner here.
Oh.
Nobody asks for. They will scoot you along. You're trying to ask for money.
Yes.
We see, especially in Tokyo. It used to be you could find one or two homeless people in Tokyo. It's very difficult now.
Yeah, it's really
They moved them all the way out to Sumida River.
Yes.
On the edge of that, you can see all the blue tents there.
Yes.
That's
yes,
it.
yes.
You cannot find them here. They said, no go zone.
Yeah.
It's completely, it's really interesting.
Yeah, it is. It
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
You have to have something going to be here.
Mm.
So how long do you see yourself being in Japan?
So I would say at least another 10 years. Yeah.
So your kids are going to be grown by the time you leave here.
So, so I think there's a breaking point somewhere around 7 years old is what my friends have.
Is that right?
Yeah.
7
Yeah.
years?
7 years old before they
the
when they
kids.
start. Yeah,
Ah.
yeah. So the kids haven't come out yet.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're planning
Still-
on children?
Yeah.
How many are you going to have? Do you know?
So
I put
let's
pressure
start with
on
one.
you.
Let's start with one. Yeah.
Put pressure on you. I don't want to have more than two. I don't want kids really.
So
But you want to have one to start off with.
yeah, I want
Okay.
to have one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it would be nice to have 3
Yes.
to increase the population.
I see.
Yeah.
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 Especially if they're brainy like you know, and I'm sure your wife is sharp too.
Yeah.
You know, she's got you. So then you have 3 kids. You raise them. You would want to raise them in Switzerland?
in Sweden.
I mean, Sweden. I give
yeah.
it Sweden.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cut that out.
Yeah.
I'm cutting that part out. So you're gonna raise them in Sweden?
Maybe the later years. Yeah.
So what do you
Because-
mean later years? Like when they turn after 12 or so, or 13? Or?
Yeah, I'm thinking either 7 or before they join like high school. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. So
Yeah.
before they start school or before they go into high
see.
school.
How do you plan on raising them here? Are you going to speak to them in both English and Swedish?
So I think my plan,
Okay.
and I think at least I hope my wife agrees with me, that I will speak Swedish to them, my wife will speak Japanese to them, and me and my wife will communicate in English. That's the plan.
Sounds good. That sounds like a good.
Yeah.
Well, then how the kids get in on that English part?
They better.
They'll pick it up.
Yeah, they'll pick it up.
They'll pick it up.
Yeah.
If you two are speaking in that language, they'll start to pick it up. And you can. Is your English better than your wife's?
Yes. it
Okay.
is, yeah.
Then you could speak to your kids in English and Swedish,
Mm.
and she only speaks in Japanese. And when you guys communicate, make it English.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. So they start
Yeah.
seeing you that way.
Mm.
But you have the onus is going to come on you to be strict.
Mm.
That you don't change to Japanese just to make it easy for them. Because they're going to be with your wife more likely more than you.
Mm.
And they're going to say, Papa, una cosita. And you're going to have to say, what?
Yeah.
I had to do that
That's
with
it.
my sons.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
how
yes.
you set it up with your wife?
She only spoke to them, and she still does today. She only speaks to them in Japanese.
Ah.
And my sons, you'll hear my son, who I just did a podcast with,
Mm.
he talks about that. But he said, it was interesting. He said that I believe we were better in Japanese. They said, no. I think we were better in English because everything we read was in English.
Mm.
We understood that better.
Yeah.
But we only spoke to our father in English. And I said, what language did your mother and father speak together?
Mm.
He said, mostly in English, but every now and then when she wanted to get across certain nuances,
Mm.
she'd speak in Japanese.
Mm.
Oh, you mean when she was mad?
Yeah.
He said, yeah, that too. He said, that too. Then she would use Japanese. But I was strict about that because I met a linguist.
Mm.
And he told me, because his daughter didn't speak, I was teaching his daughter,
Yeah.
and he and his wife were both linguists,
Oh.
and they spoke 5 languages to their daughter. Monday would be
Wow.
French, Tuesday would be German,
Yeah.
Thursday would be Italian. You know, they went like that, and then
Yeah.
English, and then Japanese. And they did that regularly.
Yes.
And he said, you're the one that has to be strict on yourself, not them. They will conform to whatever you do.
Yeah.
You just have to, if they speak in French on a German day, you
Yeah.
have to keep it in French.
Okay.
And his daughter
Wow.
didn't speak till she was maybe 6 years old, because I taught her from 3. But when I said, do you understand English? Claire, I never forget her name, was Claire. I said, do you understand English? She go,
Mm.
I said, Nihongo wa karemasu ka? Habla español? But she wouldn't say anything, because I think her mind was formulating it. Then
Yeah.
at 6, boom,
Oh.
everything.
Okay.
No, the
That's
mind's amazing.
Yeah. So she was like a sponge for the first 6 years? Just-
But that's the first thing all
getting
of us
in,
do.
yeah.
All children, any language, you listen first.
Yeah.
And if you really want to get good at any language, you continue to listen.
Mm.
Those that are talking so soon don't tend to speak very well. Those that listen to the nuances, get it.
Yeah.
Watch the way the people are moving when they speak. Because each language has a different gesture, right?
Yeah.
You don't say, I'm speaking English.
Yeah.
You never do that. You say,
don't
that's how I speak French, or whatever, Italian or something. The gestures are different.
Yeah.
And in Japanese, the gestures are different.
Yes, they are.
So,
Yeah.
nah, there's a lot more of this. Hi, so does nah. Indian.
Yes.
You
it's
know,
more.
Indian, you got to do a little bit more of this, you know.
Yeah.
So people think you're Indian too, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, especially when I lived in the Kansai area. Yes, people come up to me and ask.
Try to keep on trying to feed you curry, right?
Yeah.
Is that right? So
Yeah.
you've enjoyed Japan all the way through.
Oh yeah.
Are you driving now? Do you have a car?
I don't have a car.
Okay.
Yeah, only the motorcycle that I have that I ride.
Did you bring your
around.
bike here?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
Not today.
right.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a little bit hard to mix the suit and the motorcycle.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be hard.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
What did you have? What kind of bike do you have again?
I have a Yamaha
Uh-huh.
MT-07, so about a 700 cc.
7cc, okay.
Yeah. So it's a naked style motorcycle.
Uh,
Yes, and it suits me very well.
you love it.
Yeah, I love it.
It gets you wherever you want to go quick.
Yeah, kind of small also,
Uh-huh.
so that when you take the turns,
It's easy.
Yeah, it's easy. You get very close to the road as well. It's really lovely.
You
Yeah.
love it. You like to turn. You like to get to the corners and
Oh
stuff.
yes.
Well, the guys I rode with,
Yeah.
one of the guys, the guy that had the Triumph that was down like this, he goes twisties. He loves the twisties
Ah,
around
the
the mountains. He
twisties.
loves it. And my bike's so big
Yeah.
and not set up for that. I like the straight lines. I can do the twisties, but I prefer the straight lines.
Yeah, straight line. So Hokkaido?
Hokkaido, we went to Hokkaido.
Yeah. So the Hokkaido.
That's where we went, yeah.
And the wind. Okay.
So we had plenty of straightaways. And we did that. I told him, I said, what's going to happen is when we get the straightaways, just be prepared to watch a little red light disappear. It's going to and I did that several times. He tried to keep up with me the first time, then he realized no need.
No.
He couldn't do it but for a second because I'm behind them all the way. I keep the guy that's learning to ride in between us. So I went like this and I go, poof. And I think he went, I don't think it was nothing.
Yeah.
The 2,300 cc's, man, I took off.
It's like a rocket.
That's what it's called, Rocket 3.
Yeah.
That thing flies.
It's insane. Yeah.
So tell me, what are some? Something I didn't ask you that I'm going to ask you this before I end the podcast.
Yeah.
There's a question I ask everyone, so I'm going to ask you on this podcast.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, David.
Yes.
If you could pick a time to go back to when you were young, knowing what you know right now, how old would you be when you went back, and what advice would you give the younger David? If you could give yourself advice in the past, if you go back in time, knowing what you know now, what advice would you give yourself, and how old would you be?
Oh, that's a quite hard question, I think, because I don't think I would be that young to go back. I would be maybe 26 or something like that. So it's kind of when I arrived to Japan, actually. So I started working for a company in the Kansai region, and I kind of went in with a naive sense of
Go on. Yeah. I know the story, go on.
Yeah. So very naive that yes, this is how you start working, how you just have to put all your soul into work. Yes. But I think I put a little bit too much of all my time and all my effort into work, and I didn't spend time actually enjoying life around me. Yeah. So I think those 3 years when I worked at that company, I mean, there was really good times, especially with the people I worked with. So I had some very good friends from my exchange year when I was 24 from Japan. But what I wanted to say is that the lows were really, really low, and it was really, really tough. And I think I should have put a little bit of break on my ferocity and spent some more time with actually enjoying life. Yeah.
That's the advice you would have given yourself?
Yeah, I think so. Because that's the kind of advice that I've been giving myself or leading up to today, that actually you have to spend time with other things than work as well. Yeah. So the work-life balance is actually important. This is what I realize now.
Do you listen to motivational tapes or anything like that?
Oh yes, I do.
Like what?
Yeah.
Can you tell me some of them that you remember? What kind? Do you have any favorites?
Favorites?
Yes.
I don't know by name.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think I listen to different kinds of motivational people speaking. So I know one. I think Tim Robbins is one person.
Yes.
That I remember by name. Yeah. And I think Dave Carnegie.
Yes.
Is one.
Dale Carnegie. Yeah.
Dale Carnegie. Yeah,
yes.
Thank you. Yeah. So he wrote some books, some very old books, but still very valid.
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
Dealing with human beings, I don't think that's going to change.
No.
Oh, it may, because we're coming to the point of singularity, and then we'll start plugging more things in.
Yeah.
I think we're going to do that, and we'll be human machines.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what we already are. People are walking around with bionic knees. My son's wife is a PhD and an MD, and she deals with neural science.
Okay.
So they have a thing. People that have epilepsies.
Yeah.
There's a product that you can plug in with a battery that regulates the nerve endings in your brain. So if you have epileptic fit, it stops it.
Oh wow!
Just like the things they have for the heart.
Yeah.
The same thing, but only it's for the brain now.
Oh, that's
so we're going to
impressive.
be pretty soon. You'll be able to focus to wherever you want. You just plug it in.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to boom.
Yeah.
We're already doing things like that. You know, you can have ear implants. It's getting to that stage.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait. I hope I'm around to enjoy some of it.
Yeah.
I don't want to do the heart stuff. I'm just like my eyes and maybe hearing.
Yeah.
Sense of smell, being able to turn it off, I think would be great. There's times,
yeah.
you know, turn off your sense of smell. Sometimes you want to,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and you'll see, you'll experience everything differently. You know,
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah. I would guess that you turning off the smell, you would be able to appreciate the visuals more. For
And
example.
maybe your ears would, you're enhancing the hearing.
Yeah.
I think when you turn off certain senses, the other senses kick in
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Well, David, this isn't going to be the last time. I enjoyed this. We're going to do this again.
Yeah.
I promise you, man.
I'm
Thank you
looking
so
forward
much.
to next time as well.
Yes.
Thank you so much for today.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
as always. I want to thank all of you for watching another episode. Make sure you press like and subscribe. And remember, it's all on loan, so continue to reach for the stars because you're too blessed to be stressed.